Hey everyone, how's it going? Today I want to talk about dealing with missing opportunities in the market. Now, personally, I didn't actually capture a lot of these moves that I forecast analysis in the market. I saw that many of you guys within the community was able to capture a lot of these big runs to the downside, and I'm actually very glad that a lot of you guys are able to capitalize on it and following your plan to do so. But today's topic is really talking about how to kind of deal with this situation where you see all these opportunity play out, you forecast these opportunity play out, but you were not able to capitalize on it. And today, this topic is going to help you guys on a psychological level how to deal with such situation. Now, this happens from time to time where you're going to forecast a move, you're going to forecast a potential run of the market, and chances are you may capture it or you may not capture it. But to see them play out exactly how you originally forecasted, but you were not be able to get in, usually creates a negative emotion. It creates a little bit psychological issue to our trading. So I want to explain this, kind of giving you guys some of my thoughts on it, how to deal with such a situation, because I've dealt with this many years, and this is my ninth year in trading as well. So I want to really help you guys on how to kind of deal with it on a mindset, emotion level. Now, you can miss these opportunities based on a variety of factors. It might be because you didn't have time, you were with family, you have other businesses, you have other work. That can all create the reason why you were able to capture it. And it doesn't really matter what the exact reason is the fact that we didn't capture some of these moves, and that creates a negative thought process in our head. Now, this is what gets interesting in our mindset, that typical new traders will feel very upset, right? You'll feel very upset because, you potentially forecast a potential run and it plays out beautifully to the downside, and you just wasn't there to capitalize these moves, and you kind of start blaming yourself that you weren't there, while you're going to also see a lot of new traders around you, or maybe experienced traders around you, that they're capturing these moves, and that makes you feel very down, because you feel almost stressed that did you do something wrong, why weren't you there to capture these moves. Again, this can happen from time to time, and this happens to different traders different time. Sometimes you don't capture a move and someone else does, and sometimes someone else didn't capture the move that you did, right? And this is when an issue can start happening on a psychological level, because this is when traders start getting FOMO now, right? They start getting fear of missing out. They see the trade plays out exactly beautifully. They miss the entries. They miss the entry. Now it drops so much already. Now they just be like, well, I think this is going to continue drop more and more and more. So I'm just going to start entering without any confirmation, without any strategy, without any method. And this usually is going to be a FOMO type of situation for traders. They're going to start jumping in. They don't really care. I think I already missed hundreds and hundreds of pips already, if not thousands, in this particular move, and I don't want to miss anymore. I'm just going to start jumping into these positions, hoping that it's going to continue down. Well, hoping is not going to help you in trading, right? Remember, we want to follow still a systematic rule and plan. We don't just want to hope for the move to just continue to drop, right? Usually when this kind of situation happens, it's usually going to be due to some sort of global events or global news, as we know right now, between the tension between Russia and Ukraine. And this is why it's causing the market to drop like this. But if you really do some backtests, if you really see the market, it doesn't drop like this in one go. It usually is going to correct. You're usually going to consolidate. It might have an impulsive move, but if you look deeper, it doesn't drop sharp like this. Similar like something like coronavirus that happened about 2 years ago. It doesn't happen like that unless there's some sort of global event, which means when all this is settled, when all this is finishing up, when this is all done and go, you're not likely to be seeing these kind of move again for a very short, a very longer term. So don't hope that these kind of things can happen all the time. It doesn't, right? And that's just the first thing that I always tell my traders and in my community is, don't hope for things to happen just because you want it to happen, right? Something like this is out of your control and out of your scope. It's not something that a global event is controlled by you and I anyways. So these type of things don't happen that often. And when they do, it's usually because of external factors that we have nothing to control. But once all that is over, we're going to be back into some sort of consolidation. We're going to be back into regular type of market movement, where it's not going to drop as sharp as this or move up as sharp as that. It's going to be back to normal. And if you have that mindset where you think it's going to continue, it's going to be like this forever, well, you're going to be in the big surprise, because if you've done some backtests, if you look at how the previous market, how market moves in general, it doesn't always drop in a straight line. It's going to impulse phase, corrective phase, impulsive phase, corrective phase, and impulsive phase to actually push the price down. And in this kind of scenario, because we're getting a lot of impulsive move on news, etc., but it's unlikely to be like this in the future or in the near month or so that you're going to continue to be trading. So having the right mindset is so important in trading. And if you're missing out on opportunities, really look at how many years you have put into trading, right? If you're only in the month, if you only been trading for a few months or even just a couple of years, well, you should understand that there's so many more years to go, right? There's so many more opportunities that can develop, that can happen, that's going to help us to capitalize on the market. Think about the long-term goal of trading, right? These few weeks, again, it's not normal, right? These are kind of because of global events. So don't expect that's going to happen all the time in the future. It really doesn't, right? So at the end of the day, it's always focusing back on our trading plan, risk management, and how you want to enter, set your stop loss, take profit, etc. That's what's going to make us consistent in the long run. We're not here to hope for the market to drop like this and hope that this is going to happen every single time when we trade, because it's unlikely going to do that, right? It's unlikely because of that's something that's external factor. If you think about it, you want to be trading for as long as you can if you want to be an actual consistent trader. So you're not here to just jump in for 1 or 2 months or 3 months hoping like this and then cash out your money and then stop trading. You're going to be trading for the next 30, 40 years, and at least that's my plan to do. So don't expect something like this to happen, right? And so when something like this to happen, it usually put traders in a FOMO mindset where they're going to try to jump in at the very bottom. Now, this is usually where they're going to lose substantial amount of money, because it's unlikely that's going to continue to drop. It might continue in a bearish trend, but it's going to create correction or consolidation before the next down move. And you trying to jump in here because of your FOMO is easy getting stopped out, because a move like this that dropped a few hundred pips can easily correct a few hundred pips before the next downside, and you don't want to get trapped in that situation. So that all, just wanted to summarize all this again. Don't feel too FOMO. Don't feel too down about it, right? You miss opportunities. That happens to everyone, even myself included. I just mentioned I didn't catch any of these run. And I'm not shy, or I'm not upset that I'm saying this, because this can happen from time to time. What is important is that you don't get FOMO now and start jumping into the positions because they have already overextended and they're not likely to continue to drop like this without some sort of consolidation. That is just how the market moves, guys. So even a move like this, which is not even as big as this, requires this long of the time, this lengthy of the price, in order for the price to correct and then still resuming the downside. So don't expect the same thing that can just price continue to drop, right? You're expecting a consolidation for another move down. That's the first thing. Second thing is dealing with the situation. Well, put yourself thinking about the years ahead, right? You're thinking about how much longer, how many more years you want to be trading. You definitely want to be trading for as long as you can, because you're here for the long run, right? Trading is all about long term, right? It's not going to it's not something like you jump into trading for a few months and 1 or 2 years and then you think that's it, right? I made enough money. That's really not how trading is. So think about these situations I just talked about. The mindset needs to change, right? Don't get into FOMO. Don't compare your result with other traders. That's typically what traders do. You don't need to do that, right? There's always going to be traders who are better than you. There's always going to be traders who are worse than you. So it's important for you to compare or compete with yourself and yourself only, instead of trying to compare with yourself with others. Some people might capture some move and some people might not, right? And you didn't capture a move, but someone else did, and someone else didn't, and you might have captured them. So think about in terms of that. It's having that right mindset important, so important in trading. Okay, so I hope this quick breakdown can help you get back on track. And as I receive these messages from you guys within the community privately, and I'm getting these kind of almost negative messages from you guys thinking you guys missed the opportunity. What happens? How come I couldn't able to capture it? Well, that happens from time to time, right, guys? And that's especially due to a global event. That's why it's causing the market to move like this. So don't feel depressed, right? You're still going to be trading for the next 30, 40 years, right? These type of things can happen and will happen again. And once they finish, the market is back to normal, and you're going to have new opportunities once again. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning into this quick motivational educational video, and I will chat with you guys all next time. All right? Thank you very much, guys.